We're back in the shop. Well, actually, outside of the shop today. Today we're on a different project at TCF here. We've got a lot of equipment that we've been ignoring, and unfortunately, that happens in life. One of the things was Kermit the trailer. Now, yes, we name everything, and it usually gets a name rightfully from something to do with it. In the trailer's case, it was green, and when it's empty, it hops all over the road. It stays behind you, but it hops like crazy. So I ended up calling it Kermit. Anyways, I digress. We have fun here. Anyways, last fall we brought this thing back into the backyard. I tore off all the wood because it was starting to rot, and found that wasn't all that was rotting. So we are going to repair and rebuild the trailer and get it back together so that we can start to use it. I need it around the house to haul a bunch of junk away, and then we need it to haul Squeak and Minnie Bee and stuff like that, which we are hoping very shortly to get out with. Moose is still laid up. We're waiting for some parts. We had some problems, and that will be aired eventually, so you'll see just what's going wrong with that. But it will be back on the trails for sure. It's just taking its own sweet time. So the challenge in the shop, or as I say, outside the shop, because Moose is taking up the shop, is this. As you can see, we got holes. They're in there. Some of them go right through. Some are completely through. So I'm all about repurposing when can. This is all fixable. We just need to weld in some new stuff. And I have a ton of bed iron. So we are going to use this, rebuild and replace some of these pieces. And then while we're at it, we're going to finally rewire these lights because they haven't been working for a long time. I've been using magnetic ones. So we're going to get the originals back up and running. So this will be good. And yeah, get this whole thing back the way it's supposed to be. So we've got to start on it here. We've taken out two of the pieces of rot. A new piece in here already. We're reinforcing this side of the frame. And I've always noticed this, when I've had a straight board on it, it doesn't sit. I got this thing used 10 years ago. Axles, bearings, everything are awesome on it. I always noticed it seemed to have a bit of a bow to it. It looks like at some point somebody had way too much weight at the back of it, and it actually warped it here. Unless they did it on purpose, but that's a square tube. I don't think it was done on purpose. But on both sides, just warped just a slight bit. Then when you put a board across it, it doesn't sit all the way. And I always thought there was something weird about it. Now I know why. So even this, I've sliced it here so that it can warp and fit with the frame. So we're going to keep the warp, that's fine. Strong, just warped. So there's what we started with. We got some beams. That panel there goes back up on top of everything once we're done. And instead of replacing this beam here, we're actually going to put one on either side of it to lessen the gaps between, just so we can put a little bit more weight on it without having to worry about anything going through the wood. Alright, got some pieces cut and started so we can get them welded in. So we got a new beam here. We took out the center beam. We're putting in a beam here and then one just over here to make the spaces smaller. This back one, I'm not sure what we're doing with it yet, but we might just put like an X in it to close up some of the space. We'll see. Now, it's never really been too big of a problem, but Squeak's tires do sit right there, so maybe we'll add a little bit of a structural addition there. The one thing I've always liked about this thing is I can pick it up with one hand at the tongue, walk around with it. It's just like a wheelbarrow. It is so well balanced. So we're trying not to throw that balance off too much. So we will see what we do, but it's definitely on its way to being patched back up. Well, we got little ears on here now. Originally, as you can see what happens, there's one of the old hangers. We have this flipped up at the moment. That one's being used. But here's what originally was on it, was these. So they spin up. They've got a spring in them. They're supposed to reset. And all that holds them in there is a little bit of a peen in here. So they can pull out. So you're using that to tie something down and it comes out. Not the best idea. When that one fell apart back here, it's the only one out of the four that fell apart. But when this one fell apart, I started just using the metal. But see how we're modifying. I had a set of 4 of these sitting around from one of my trucks. And we plug weld them in. They're all on. And as you can see right now, it's actually holding the trailer upright. Easy to hook a rope to, clip onto, everything else is going to be handy. Make moving things around a lot better. So we're still patching holes and welding up, but it's getting there. We've got our rails in. It's going to be a lot stronger than it was before for holding its capacity. We're doing good. So, it's back together. As I say, green, well, used to be darker. We took the jack we had on here off. I did have a scissor jack on there that hardly ever got used, seized up, and I just kept bashing my knee on it. As I say, this trailer is very light, so one hand, you can pick it up and wheel it around like it's a wheelbarrow. It's really good. As I say, we're cleaning up the yard. It's already full of stuff. And the other thing we didn't get to yet is these. I was hoping to just rewire these, but playing around with this one, wanted to change the bulb out, and when I went to take the bulb out, the whole socket just ripped right out of it. So this one's still here just because it's holding the plate on. We're going to play with that. The one on this side, we've removed it altogether. Just going to put the magnetic lights back on for the moment, and we'll go from there. Right now, we're cleaning stuff up. Then the next thing you should see in this will be Squeak and hopefully the mini bike. So that's all we got for this one. Trailer's back together, solid. We're going to get some lights. Not sure what yet for it. I will figure something out. And we'll show that when we finally get to it. But we're just going to get a light kick, you know, the lights in the wire, put it on. For now, I'll just run the magnetics again. It works. But once it's empty of the junk, we'll get Squeak in there, go out, have some fun. So remember to hit that like, subscribe on YouTube, follow us on Facebook. We appreciate. Thanks a lot, and I'll see you next video.